Season's winding down, and the Detroit Lions need help all over the field with this football team, and a great way to fix that issue is obviously the NFL draft. One of the main positions the Lions need help in is wide receiver. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 wide receivers the Detroit Lions could draft between the second first-round pick and the second round. I do not believe the Lions taking a wide receiver at the first pick, so we're going to go from late first round, early second round. And if you're into a lot of pain, if you're into eating glass and having slivers in your mouth due to that glass, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel, because I talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and we get eaten up in a lot of pain with this football team. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. In this list of 5 wide receivers, this is no particular order, so I'm not saying one is better than the other. This list also is who I believe could be available with the second first-round pick. Some players I simply do not believe will be there with that pick, so you got to understand it from that standpoint, as well as, again, players that the Detroit Lions need. Not every type of wide receiver the Lions are going to need. They don't need every single type, and I think the Detroit Lions need help with a more bigger wide receiver. So that's how this list is going to go with, and we're going to start with Arkansas's Treylon Burks, wide receiver, 21 years of age, perfect height at 6'3", but he is something that the Detroit Lions do not have. That is that big body wide receiver, and I think it's potentially he could be there. Good chance he could be gone, but it's possible. When you look at Treylon Burks, he is built wide receiver prospect whose game is reflective of his stature, physical. Comment on the video, do you want the Detroit Lions to select a wide receiver with 2 of the 3 first picks? We're not talking about the first pick, but the second first-round pick and or the first pick in the second round. Let me know and just place what pick you would want it at in the comment section. The Razorbacks treat him more along the lines of an H-back hybrid instead of a true slot receiver in the perimeter. He plays a lot of different alignments, but his most consistent has been in the slot at 82%, but I think he can easily transition for the Detroit Lions on the outside. He contains strong hands. He's capable of snagging the ball away with his big body frame, and what's something good about Treylon Burks is he's very good at run blocking for a wide receiver and getting off the block, because in the beginning, a lot of people don't understand, wide receivers got to beat the beginning stage, right where getting there off the line. He's often be involved in motions, slot exterior, short motions to the hip. He can beat on a lot of players. He definitely got an interesting orbit of motion, but he places a lot of stress on defenders in man-to-man coverage, and that is exactly what we need. Also, he kind of reminds me of Deebo Samuel, that type of wide receiver, and I think he can really help out the Detroit Lions, except for he could be more useful in those contested catches, the bigger play down the field, something that the Detroit Lions has not seen for some time. Let's go ahead and look at his stats. We see here so far this year, he has 66 receptions for 1,104 yards, 11 touchdowns, 16.7 average. I think Treylon Burks would be a great fit for the Detroit Lions if he actually fell to them in the first round, late in the first round. He won't make it to the second round. He's just too talented. He'd be exactly a Dan Campbell type of player, and I think it would be a fantastic pick if the Lions selected. The next player on my list is a extremely high riser so far in this draft, and that's Alabama's wide receiver, Jameson Williams, 6'2", 189. You say he's a smaller frame. This guy is lightning speed. This guy just kills defenses. And if you look what he did to Georgia, he smoked them, he destroyed them, and he is something that could really help out the Lions stretching the field. He's electric, quick-footed receiver. He's easily speed to burn in all 3 areas of the field, attacking deep positions on the field, the area where you can find success, but he has the ability to run, come back to the ball, and short to intermediate routes on the field. Attacking downfield, shows strong hands to squeeze and tuck the ball, primarily use outbreak and route specialist during his time with Ohio. He can slam on the brakes and redirect really quick. He's definitely a number one wide receiver and would be the best receiver on the Lions team immediately. Let's look at his stats. This year, folks, 68 receptions for a whopping 1,445 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 21.3 average. This guy is a game-breaking machine. I think the only really issue, again, is his weight at 189, a smaller guy, and that's something that is a little bit of fearful, but he's not the smallest guy in the world. He is a burner. And if you look at the Lions offense, that's something we really don't have right now. Jared Goff will be the quarterback next year. Play action, deep route to Jameson Williams would be a very good way for the Lions offense to stretch the field. Go ahead and make some money by going to chatsports.com/LionsBet, but you got to put in the promo code Lions125 to get that 125% deposit bonus. Bet on games, bet on Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. If you would have bet on the Lions winning against the Minnesota Vikings or that just to cover the game, you would have made a ton of money, and that's what it's all about. Chatsports.com/LionsBet. Our next player on this list may be the smallest player on my list. I don't know if he will be there. It's going to be close. This, again, would be a late first rounder. He could go earlier because he's done a really good job at Ohio State, and that's Chris Olave, wide receiver, 21, 6'1", 188. More compound, and he is shifty and swifty. I got to tell you that. When you look at him, his route running is considered one of the best in the NFL. Think of Golden Tate route running. Whether he is working on the hard-breaking routes, back line of scrimmage, implementing double moves, works vertically, working across the middle, deep route, cross patterns, he's savvy. Great hands, extending, play catching, football away from his body. He'll get some inconsistent results, especially if he's involved in some collision at some point, but this guy has spectacular hands. Great in separation, something that we're not seeing right now with our wide receivers. Easy separation, gets open, and you can easily see Jared Goff get him the football. Overall, his playing ability, his work on the field, his toughness is extremely high. His football IQ, extremely high. This guy would immediately potentially be the best wide receiver on this football team as a rookie because he has that IQ, he has that separation, he has that great route tree. This guy is a monster. If you just look at his stats, though, 65, 936, 13 touchdowns, 14.4. It's not showing a lot. It doesn't have the biggest stat on this list, but if you watch him play the game, you can see this guy is a baller and a game changer. No doubt about it. Solid first round one pick. Solid number one for any team, and the Detroit Lions should consider him if he is available. Now let's go to my personal favorite wide receiver here. That's Drake London out of USC. He's 20 years old, again young, 6'5", 210. I love his height. It's exactly what you need. He aligns the Trojans offense mainly as a big slot, but he can play on the outside. Excellent proactive athlete with his body control. Fluidity in his route tree and route running is absolutely top-notch. He's strong, tough, stalk blocker, tough enough to crack back the defender and defensive end. In the passing game, he wins in many different ways. He can afford to use his hands, better defeat the press so he can get off the line of scrimmage and get into his routes. He's athletic enough to uncover an intermediate area, excels with 50-50 jump balls, contested catches, something that we've missed since Kenny Galladay and obviously Megatron. He excels in the deep pass. That's exactly where we're not having. The issue with him is he was injured this year, and I think that's going to be the big issue. But he should be good to go, most definitely, for the Lions season. Nothing serious, but that is a concern. Let's look at his stats. This year, 88 receptions, 1,084 yards, 7 touchdowns, 12.3 average. Again, he was injured, unfortunately, but Drake London, to me, is a perfect fit in Detroit. He will be available with that second first-round pick, I do believe, and potentially available first pick in the second round because that is his area. And there's a lot of wide receivers in this year's draft, and that could push Drake London out of the first round, something the Lions would have to take a look at. Like I said again, I think Drake London is absolutely perfect for the Lions, and he would be a massive get if we can add him to this offense. Let's go to the final wide receiver on my list. And I think you get him in the second round. And this would be somewhat of a value pick. Let's go ahead and get to him. That's David Bell, the wide receiver out of Purdue. Purdue produces some very excellent wide receivers, and David Bell is one of those guys. 21, 6'2", 205. Again, height is kind of what you want to see. Same with body size. David Bell, he projects as a viable NFL wide receiver, offering plus ball skills, high point ability, strong hands, needed physicality to win on the outside against press man coverage. His emergence prospects has aided some of the injury history, his issues, such as Rondale Moore. Folks, like I said last year, Rondale Moore is going to be a great prospect, and look what he's doing for Arizona. Same type of thing. He's more traditional build for his position, ability to win the catch at the point. He's tough, catch after it, kind of like a Tate. This guy is exactly what the Lions need. He is a player that will immediately upgrade this position, and he's very good on the vertical deep pass. Again, you're noticing a trend in the wide receivers selected here. Vertical, deep, big pass. That's exactly what the Lions don't have right now. We have a lot of smaller wide receivers, slot wide receivers. In this, I'm going with the true number one big body wide receivers. David Bell is one of those guys. Look at his stats here. 93 receptions, 1,286 yards, touchdown 6, 13.8 average. He's getting the ball quite a bit, getting the yards. You'd wish you see a little more touchdowns, but this guy is a baller. And like I said with everybody else, I think you could get this man in the second round, and that would be fantastic if you're trying to slow down a little bit on using maybe draft capital on a safety with that first round pick. This could be an option for the Detroit Lions. In the upcoming videos, we do got the OnePride podcast on my channel tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to be an absolute fun, interactive show. If you're new to the channel, I don't care what fan base you are. Come on down, throw in the questions. We'll talk about it. And if you got fantasy football questions, we'll talk about that as well. We do a lot of draft on my channel. You don't have to be a Lions fan for that. As you can see, this video is one of those. And on Sunday, Detroit Lions versus the Denver Broncos live watch party on my channel. Gonna be fun. Gonna be absolutely awesome. Make sure you're there. Come on down.